Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2021 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Coral spread as always, but I also pulled a couple of oracle cards and Mudra cards for you guys. And we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So, get started. Okay, so we have 2. That's your second house, which for you guys is Gemini, and we just have the North Node there now. But yeah, that could just say that you've had a lot of focus on your finances, self-worth, possessions. Speaking of Gemini, we also got that with the second dice here. So it could definitely be a lot of focus around money for you. And we have Mars. And Mars is currently in Virgo, and it's going to move into Libra around the middle of September. So for you guys, that's 5th house, then moving into 6th house. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, the main situation position, we have the 6 of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy, which for you guys is your opposite sign. Now, this can just be saying that you might be mending a relationship. It could definitely be a one-to-one relationship, possibly romantic, but it could be around families, partnerships as well. For some of you, this could even just be extending that energy to yourselves, because the reason why I say that is in a challenge or obstacle position, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here, and obviously we see an energy of work being put in, Virgos being the natural rulers of the 6th house that definitely relates to work. So it could just be pointing to a couple of things. One, it could just be saying that maybe you guys are giving yourselves a break if you've just been really focused on work. You guys have Saturn in your 10th house of career and social status. Jupiter is back in there as well. So it could have just been putting a lot of energy toward your careers lately. But obviously this could also be saying that you've been trying to mend some other connections for that same reason. You know, it could just be saying you've been putting so much energy into your career, you might have had some of your other areas of life fall by the wayside, like I said, whether it be the one-on-one romantic connection, friendships, family connections, you name it. So for some of you, could just be saying that you're not quite ready to get there yet, because this is a Virgo energy here. But you know, by the time you guys watch this, if you watch it in September, that energy might have passed, because this represents the first 10 degrees of Virgo. So you might feel like you have that one last little push as we start Virgo season, and then you might actually be able to reconnect with people in a more fun manner. In the foundation position, we have the King of Cups, which is Scorpio energy again, and we have the Moon. So yeah, could just be saying, what always stands out to me is it kind of looks like he's sitting in the middle of the water, in like a concrete throne, right? So it could just be saying that you guys might feel like you're alone on an island around the situation. Again, like I said, maybe you've just had to put so much energy into your careers that you haven't really had the energy to connect with people on a more emotional level. And maybe now you haven't been seeing the situation clearly for a while. You know, you've just been so focused on that everything going on the outside of that, you haven't really been given much focus to. So that could have been kind of the cause of the problem for some of you. And obviously, if this represents another person, it could just be the way that they're feeling, right? Like they feel like emotionally left out, right? Like you guys aren't really seeing them, basically. Maybe literally, maybe figuratively. But that's what I'm seeing there. And for some of you, this could have been something that started off around the time of the Scorpio full moon during Taurus season. So for some of you, this could be something that's been going on for a few months now. All right, in the past position, we have the Knight of Cups, which is Pisces energy, 5 of Pentacles, Taurus energy, and 2 of Cups, Cancer energy. So I will say for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you actually have gotten the ball rolling a little bit, as far as with the Knight of Cups, showing that, you know, moving toward that 5 of Pentacles, meaning I feel like there was an awareness there that, okay, yeah, clearly things aren't going too well, right? I sometimes refer to this card as the in sickness and in health energy, because the two people technically are still together. It just looks like they're going through a really rough time, right? So it could just be saying that you guys might have hit a rough patch around your relationships, and you might have actually tried to mend that. This could have been back in Cancer season. So it could have just been one of those things where maybe that was when the initial effort was made, right? Then you might have got pulled away toward your work again, and now you're making a bigger gesture, a bigger effort because you're like, okay, sorry, I got pulled away again, right? Now we should be good. So that's what I'm seeing there. In the present position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here, and it's also a good indicator to me that you guys are actually on the process of mending and building things in a much more firm, concrete way. That's beneficial for both parties involved too. So like I said, this is coming across primarily like it's a one-to-one relationship thing, but this can just be within the workplace too. Maybe you've been just run ragged within the workplace and you're trying to get more collaboration from your coworkers, right? So maybe you guys have been streamlining some processes there. But yeah, whatever the case may be, looks like this is definitely a more positive shift. You're building things in a much more stable manner that's happy, that's going to lead to happiness for all parties involved, basically. All right. In the near future position, we have the Nine of Swords. So definitely looks like there's still some anxiety around this. This is Gemini energy, and we did see that come up in two of your dice because, like we said, for you guys, your second house is Gemini. You guys are the natural rulers of the second house. So it could just be saying that, even if you do feel like you're getting that balance back, you still might have a lot of anxiety and fear. So for example, let's say you do take some time away from your job to reconnect with family, friends, romantic partner, whatever, but then you might have that anxiety that, okay, while I'm doing this, I'm falling behind in my work, right? So, like I said, it's natural. If you guys have Aries friends, you could talk to them. They had Saturn in their 10th house for the past couple of years before you guys got it. So they had some difficulty with navigating that energy as well. That's kind of how I'm seeing it there. You just like, even in that moment where you might disconnect for a little bit, have a little bit of fun, I feel like there's still that nagging sense in the back of your mind, like, okay, I'm falling behind in my work. So try to avoid that if possible. But like I said, it's natural if you're feeling that way because of the transits we mentioned. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Nine of Cups, which is Pisces energy, and the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. So see, it's kind of that same vibe there, right? Where there's that, okay, let me cut back, have a little bit of fun, right, with that Nine of Cups energy, but then immediately like, okay, in the back of your mind, right underneath the surface, okay, yeah, you're out with friends, you're out with family, you're having fun, detached from work, but underneath the surface, you're still thinking about it, right? Because again, for you guys, Aquarius energy is your 10th house career. So I feel like no matter what you're trying to do, you're just, having a little bit of difficulty shaking that. I do have to say, for others of you, though, if it's not related to work at all, this could just be saying that you might be digging your feet in a little bit. Like, okay, I know what I want, I know how I want it to go down, right? And then not really coming forward to approach. So if this was, like I said, around the falling out, since we see the Six of Cups there, you might just be waiting for the other person to come forward, right? So almost with that expectation that it's up to them to come forward to you. And that's kind of what I'm seeing there. All right. In the environment position, we have the Ten of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here as well, and definitely represents, a lot of, as you can see, just a light, playful energy. So if this is another person, it looks like they're certainly open to move things forward. So maybe if you have some anxiety, for example, about apologizing to this person, right? Maybe feeling like there was too much damage done already and you can't get things back on track. To me, this is an indicator that they would definitely, be open to reconnecting, rebuilding the connection. And this could just be pointing to this is the energy around you guys too, which is to say, like I said, if you just have a lot of fear and anxiety that things are going to fall apart, if you do have a little bit of time to yourselves, right? Like I said, for some of you, this isn't involving any particular relationship. It could just be the relationship with yourselves where, you might feel like, oh, if I take a week off from work, things are going to fall apart. This in the environment position could just be saying that, the energies are there, they're supported for you guys to actually disconnect for a little bit and actually have a little bit more fun. And that's kind of natural too, as we move into Virgo season. That's your 5th house. So that represents romance, creativity, children. So definitely would be that energy for you guys to kick back for a bit. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands. So this is Aries energy here. So yeah, it could just be saying that you guys really are hoping for that stability, right? So for example, maybe this is a goal you have to where you might not feel like you're there yet, and that could be what's driving you subconsciously to put so much energy toward your career, right? You might feel like you're not where you want to be in that regard. So like let's say with that Five of Pentacles energy we saw in the past, right? You could just feel like, okay, when I do put my focus on love, let's say I feel like I fall behind in my career, right? So you might have yourself convinced that, okay, I need to get to this point before I can enjoy other areas of life. So it could just be what's driving you on a subconscious level. But either way, I will say this does look like that is your end goal. Your goal is to enjoy yourselves, but it could just be one of those things where if you don't feel like you're there yet, it could just be one of those things that's driving you. All right. And in the outcome position, we have judgment. So yeah, I mean, if this is definitely a one-to-one connection where you guys are both kind of reserved and not coming forward to mend a connection, for a lot of you, I feel like you are getting that ball rolling. But with this coming up in the outcome position, I feel like this is saying it's going to come back up anyway. You know, the universe with a major arcana card like this will just keep nudging you and the other person until something gets rolling. Because it looks like this is meant to continue. So if there is a falling out you guys had, it looks like there's definitely the opportunity for you guys to get back on track with that this month. There is going to be a Mercury retrograde toward the end of September, so it could just be pointing to that energy as well. And if that's the case, that will be in your sixth house. So for some of you, this can be a work opportunity that might come back around. So just wanted to at least mention that. But for, like I said, a lot of you, I feel like this is more around, yes, work being a factor, but more of how it's impacted your interpersonal relationships. So that's what I'm seeing there. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Swords. So given the spread as a whole, I feel like this is actually more of a positive, especially given that, like I said, it looks like you guys might hit that Nine of Swords energy in the near future. So I feel like this is more of pointing to that energy coming to an end, especially given the cards we see in your position, the environment, and the outcome. Looks like things are definitely going to open back up for you. So if you are feeling that way, doesn't seem like it's going to last long. All right, moving on to your oracle cards. We have building blocks. There's the artwork, and the number is 28. So this definitely seems to support what I was saying there. Like I said, it looks like especially that Three of Pentacles sticks to mind, saying that you do have the ability to build things back in a better way. But we'll see what it says in the book. Okay, it says, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. The Oracle's message, you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. So pretty positive message there, and like I said, with the stability and whatnot, that definitely makes me think of that Three of Pentacles energy and what we talked about with that earlier. The relationship message says, when you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving toward laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So yeah, I mean, that message seems pretty self-explanatory compared to what we mentioned in the spread as a whole, too, so hopefully that resonated with you. And then the prosperity message says you have everything you need to turn iron into gold in the alchemical process of creating the prosperous life you desire. Now's the time to build on the strong foundation you have already laid for your prosperity. Keep in mind that these building blocks are imbued with the sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dream and remember that you always have more than enough and you always are enough, so abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success. So pretty positive message there too. I will say, speaking of all the Aquarius energy that I mentioned with the 10th house stuff. We did have one full moon already in Aquarius right when Leo season started. And at the time of recording this, we haven't had the second one yet, but there will be a second one toward the very end of Leo season, which is kind of rare to have two full moons in the same sign. So that could be another thing that might lead to, you guys might complete something around your career. And that one's going to be close to Jupiter, so that should be pretty positive too, even though Jupiter is retrograde. Karmically, that tends to be a good thing. All right, now your second card you got is Observer. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. So we'll see what this says. Okay, it says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral standpoint. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So pretty positive message there, and that kind of makes me think of that Three of Pentacles energy again too, where like I said, it looks like a much more positive, collaborative effort. So like I said, we're going to be interpersonal relationships as far as a one-to-one romantic, friendship, family, you name it, work relationships, looks like a positive there. The relationship message says sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take the higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So, reading that message made me think of the fact that we just had, at the time recording this anyway, we just had that Leo new moon recently, and that was actually squaring Uranus in your sign. So that could have been a time of tension. There might have even been some arguments around that time for some of you. So hopefully that message resonated there. And the prosperity message says, it is an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. So reading that message was really interesting to me because as I was reading it, I was thinking about these two cards in particular. So let me go back to the part where that really hit for me. Where it says, you may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as he planned. Unable to see the miracle, that made me think of how he has his eyes closed, right? Eyes covered, rather, with the Nine of Swords. And what's right in front of him is that Ten of Cups energy, which definitely has that energy of like miracles, right? So it could just be saying, there is something right in front of you, but you guys just might be so stuck in your head that you're not seeing it too clearly. So that looks like it could be another indicator to say that you might just need to take a bit of a break from your work too, if you can, even if it's just a 3-day weekend or something, to just really detach, clear your minds a little bit. So hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we have the Mudra card. So the Mudra you got this month is the Hridaya Mudra. There it is there. The keyword for it is tranquility. Alright, and there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says rejuvenates the heart and pericardium, releases accumulated stress and emotions, regulates blood pressure and heart rate, reduces anxiety, opens Anahata chakra, which is the heart center. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put it in the name of the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.